So yesterday, I did a video where I made every single player in the NFL 5 years old. What ended up happening was nobody retired in the 30-year career you can have in Madden franchise mode. Now, that's not a big deal. The fact that every single player became a 99 overall, and also with them in reality not retiring, meant that the make-believe players, the rookies, never got to see the field. They all had to sit on the sideline and deal with the fact that their 5-year-old starters never would get benched. So those players progress and progress and progress up to 99 overalls. Well, today, every single player in Madden is 60 years old. And just like how 60-year-olds, well, actually, not even 60, even 40-year-olds in football, they retire, okay? They retire, they go MIA, they never play football again. Because you get to an age where you just can't do it anymore. You just can't run the ball better, as well as you used to. You can't catch the ball. Injuries start piling up. You know, there's a million different reasons. And they retire. So the question is, what happens if every player 60 years old after the first season? Is every player in the NFL going to retire? One, and if that happens, how does the NFL continue? Because the NFL draft is only, 236, 240 players? That's not going to populate the whole entire NFL. And neither will the undrafted players as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of undrafted players, but is that enough to make all the active rosters combined? And I guess we're going to find that out, because as always, like many of my videos, I don't really script these. I go into them, see what happens, and we play as we go along. And, well, I can promise you this one is an interesting one, because I myself am interested to see how this turns out. Like, when I made the players 5 years old, I was kind of curious to see how that turned out. Went a lot different than I expected. I thought eventually the game would just retire some players. Yeah, no. When you have, when you're in 2050 and you're watching Aaron Rodgers still play football when he's 38 years old in 2024, yeah, he was like 65 years old still playing football. Also, my trend of taking over as the Kansas City Chiefs and them not making the playoffs, 2 videos, that streak was broken. Can we start it back up is the question. Well, every time I try to start it back up, it always seems like the Chiefs make the playoffs in the end. Which, so far, they were 4-6, and now they're winning nonstop, and now they're 7-6, so I don't have faith that that's going to happen. Now, the age in Madden really means nothing. I know in real life, the age means a lot. 60 years old would mean a lot. Players would all absolutely suck. Nobody would be able to play pro football. In Madden, age is absolutely pointless. The only thing age matters for is a couple things. One is regression. The older you are, the more you regress, the faster you regress. Number 2 is retirement. How long can a player play for? Well, their age is definitely one of those factors that changes those 2 things. And that's all really that matters when it comes to age. Outside of that, age is so pointless in Madden, and it really means nothing. It's just regression, and it's also retirement. I guess you could say also, like, players might sign somewhere or not sign somewhere based on age, but yeah, it really is just retirement, and it's regression. How fast you gain XP, how fast you decrease. All right, so playoff time here before we get into the absolute spree. And wow, the Ravens beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Didn't think that was possible. So let's get to the Super Bowl. Now, once we get past the Super Bowl, that's when the window's going to start of retirements. And again, free agency is going to have nobody. Okay, Dolphins, 49ers, Super Bowl. How is this going to go? Okay. No, I had to go one more week for retirements. Alright. What is this retirement going to look like? Shoo. There's no way all these players retire at once, right? Okay. Let's go retirements. Okay, retired. Let's go by each single team. No one retired on the Bears. Okay. See, this is not what I expected in any capacity. And you know why? Because I just realized that it doesn't show individual teams. Alright, it doesn't show individual teams. Okay, I mean, none of these players are really good players that retired. Keanu O'Neal, okay. Interesting. Give me some, like, actual good names, bro. Like, I guess there's Jerick McKinnon. Okay, they retired. Any, like, big boy names so far? Because all these names are kind of, like... Mercedes Lewis retired. Wow, that's a news flash, 100%. Tyler... I thought I said Lindenbaum. That's Tyler... Alright, bro. Like, I mean, I guess some of these guys are important. Carl Joseph. I mean, Sidney Jones. Okay. Okay, now we're getting to some interesting names. Juwan James. Okay. Are you going to give me... O.J. Howard retired. Okay, that's interesting. No, T.Y. Hilton. I'm pretty sure he retires in real life at this point. Damian Harris retires after 6 seasons. Alright, so now we got some actual players retiring here. We got Kenny Golladay retired. We got Russell Gage, Will Fuller, Leonard Fournette. I feel like Leonard Fournette's older than he is, which is insane. I always think he's like 60 years old for some reason. Oh, wait, he is 60 years old. Pat Elflein, okay. Kenyon Drake. Like, we're not talking about, like, the Justin Jeffersons yet. So, I mean, but we also have a lot more players to look forward to. And I'm going to guess every player here retired, like, in the NFL. I don't see how any player plays past their first year when they're 60 years old. Alright. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Just look at the rosters, because I don't feel like scrolling through a million different players there. Alright. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is still around at 61 years old. Travis Kelce is 61 years old as well. So, Isaiah Pacheco is the only running back left on the Chiefs after this. The receiving core is decimated. Kelsey's the only guy left there. Okay. I mean, there are some players still left. Let me go up to the NFL here. So, Lamar Jackson still left. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Andrew Luck. I mean, there's still a lot of players left. I mean, don't be wrong. There's a lot of players who are gone. Like, this is definitely not as plentiful. But after the first year retirements, I don't know. I kind of expected more players. I mean, there was a lot of players retired, but actually, let me scroll down to the very bottom here. I think the bottom is going to give us the best players for the retirement. So let me go all the way down to the bottom. This should give us the best names, hopefully at least. Alright, and I think there might be also multi-week retirements. I remember I did a video before where I had every player set to retire. And after I did it, it was like every week there was different players that retired. So I wonder if the best names are going to be at the bottom here. Or maybe they're just sporadic in general. Adrian Amos, but he's like 10 years in the league. Like, some of these players, it's not really that crazy. Like Henry Black, for example, I have no idea who you are. But guess what? You retired after 5 years, which is kind of crazy, I guess. But again, some of these guys just might think that they're not going to make a roster, so they retire because of that. There's like a million different reasons why a player might retire. Like Chosen Anderson. He probably retired because he's trash. Alright, let's sim forward a week then. Let's see if there's more retirements after the first week. I feel like more players have to retire. There's no way these guys going to age 61 here. Stage 1. Oh, whoa, okay, so we have more players here. Jarvis Landry, Marvin Jones retired. Matt Breida retired. Okay, so now we have a lot of players dropping. Actually, no, not really. We only had like 20 more players retire. So it looks like there's different stages throughout the offseason that these players are going to retire for. So let's see if more players get kind of dropping off like flies as we go through here. Hopefully they do, because I want to see every player retired. I mean, if they play their 61st season, 61st season, that'd be kind of crazy. Okay, more players are retiring. Not too many more, but some. Let's see what the Chiefs look like. I'm going to guess Patrick Mahomes is just going to power through the whole entire thing. I'm going to guess Patrick does not retire. But this Chiefs squad, nonetheless, is getting decimated. But the thing, again, the draft is going to help out immensely when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, and if some players are going to be in free agency because 61, apparently they want to play, let's just keep it going, man. Keep it rocky, keep it rolling, and let's see what's next. This is quite the interesting video, I'll tell you that. Alright, I'm going to sim the next season, and I want to see who's still on these teams. Hang on. Alright, so we simmed the next season, and still a lot of players are in the NFL. Not as many as when we started off this video, I'll be honest with you, but still a good amount. We still got Justin Jefferson. It looks like some of these players are regressing, though. And yeah, being 61 years old is definitely not going to help out a lot. And we definitely have a lot less 90-some-odd overall players in the league than we did before. And when we started this video off, I think we had a lot of 99s. And, well, now we're kind of going down that list here. So, going into this season, let's just sim through. And I'm going to be right back, guys, once we get to the Super Bowl. Because I want to see what happens with the second wave of, players getting retired. I'll say it like that. All right, so we're now into our second wave of potential free agency here. I mean, retirement's not free agency. So let's just see how this goes. And by the way, side note here, I didn't look at it from the first run here, but this, of course, Joe Burrow wins MVP, Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl. First one was Patrick Mahomes winning MVP. But I'm hoping at least, some of these players start dropping like flies. And again, age doesn't really matter when it comes to Madden. So these stats aren't going to be really that upsetting or crazy. Geno Smith is the second best quarterback in the NFL. I've officially seen it all. But yeah, so overall wise, again, this is just going to be your typical stats you would see. I mean, yeah, it's not really that crazy. I mean, they're 61 years old. So what matters, though, and what the point of this video is when we get to the next set here, which is the actual retirements. So let's see. Who is going to make it to age 62 and continue their run in the NFL? So it looks like there is a set amount of players that can retire per year in Madden. And that does make sense because, there's guys like me that would do what I'm doing and would kind of break the game. And there wouldn't be players for, the NFL. So it looks like we got some players retiring after 3 seasons. So apparently 62 years old was officially it for some of these guys. Mac Jones retires after 5 years. CJ Beathard, Tank Bigsley after 3 seasons. Tommy DeVito, not my DeVito. Isaiah McKenzie, okay. Joshua Dobbs, Latavius Murray. Again, some of these players retiring is kind of funny because it's not too crazy because you kind of expect that to happen. But yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Richie James. And again, we're still kind of on the surface of a lot of these guys who are retiring. I'm not trying to say they suck or they're not good. MVS, but it's not like the big boy names. We haven't hit, I feel like, the really, really big names. Are you a creative player? Hold up. Did a creative player just retire on us? They're not actually 60-some odd years old, right? Oh, crap. Guys, I have a funny oopsie I kind of did. Remember the first draft class? The one that kind of just happened? Yeah, so all those players are also 62 years old. Not all of them. But, yeah. Actually, maybe not. Okay, I thought I made them all 62 by accident. But I didn't. And by the way, the best player in Madden is still Patrick Mahomes at 62 years old. And, I mean, there's still some decent players in the game right now. But I take that back. Okay, I thought I made all the rookies 62 as well, which would have been absolutely hilarious. But also, again, it looks like there is a set amount of players that can retire per year. So, while yes, there is a lot of players who are still around, there's also a lot of players who are slowly leaving the game because they can't stick around too much longer, especially with the fact that they're 62 years old. And also the fact that a lot of these players are regressing at an alarming rate because of their age. Their age is not helping them in any stretchy imagination. And yeah, we just got these players in like 2 seasons already dropping like flies. Alright, so let's just go through the rest of these here. And you can see we go from like 87 and then we're already at the 80s and below the 80s without any time at all. Justin Tucker is still kicking it. So I'm going to sim till next season, guys. And actually, you know what? No, let's go through stages. I forgot because some of these players, they do retire past the resigning stage. So we got some more retirements. Will Disley, Devin Duvernay, okay. Cedric Wilson. I'm waiting for the big name to drop. Like, there's got to be a big name player who ends up retiring sometime soon. I'm talking about like a Myles Garrett type player. But at the same time, I don't know if they will. Because I think the game does have it where it's like certain players like this can't retire in case there's someone like me out there who makes everyone 60 years old. I think EA puts parameters in there for myself. Okay. So we got a couple more players. So let's go ahead and go to next season. I don't think any more players will retire this season. Alright, so now continuing here. Let's see how this ends up turning out. Another year, another set of retirements. And by the way, the Super Bowl was run by the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson was MVP. But again, like there's still a lot of players who are in this league, even though that they're 60 some odd years old. And they refuse to retire. Looking at you, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. And there's still a really decent amount of players like that. I mean, Joe Burrow refuses to retire. I mean, you can see a lot of these quarterbacks have actually retired. A lot of these quarterbacks are gone, man. Either gone or they just have regressed so much that they're just trash now. And, like, nobody actually wants them. Apparently, Mad Max Crosby, though, is just eating up all these 62-year-olds. Okay, that sounds so wrong. That sounds so nasty. Alright, who is gonna retire, man? That's the question. Who is calling it quits after all this 60-some-odd years in football? Alright. Oh, Joseph Asai retired. Man, I hate that. I love that guy. Cleo Herbert. Okay, Carson Wentz. Should have retired a long time ago. Justin Fields retired after 6 seasons. Okay. Desmond Ridder. I'm just kind of looking at the quarterbacks at this point. Cooper Rush retired. Marcus Mariota. Brandon Allen. Obviously, players like DeAndre Swift retired. So we got a little bit more of players to actually retire. But we're going to have more players here who are 60-some, 63, 64 years old who are still in the NFL. And yes, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Kelsey retired. I didn't even see Kelsey retired. So Travis Kelsey retired. But again, I mean, yeah. See, now some of these rookies are going to start getting really good and taking over. But I mean, it's these 4, 5, 6. Andrew Luck is still around at 63 years old. That's wild. Aaron Rodgers. Bro, how? And Aaron Rodgers is still in the Bears. That is. How is he still playing? I just don't even understand this game anymore. Like, some of these players, Aaron Rodgers especially, because Aaron Rodgers is like 38 years old in real life. The fact that he's still, it's almost like to a point where they're so old that they refuse to retire. Like, they're like, you know what? If we play this long in the NFL, why would we retire now? Like, what's the point at this point? You played 60 some odd years. Retiring now just seems really stupid. Ryan Gore. All right. Let's just sim forward. Let's just see if somebody else decides that it's time for them to call it quits. Please. Consider it, guys. I'm trying to see everyone retire at this point. You know, at first I thought everyone's going to retire at once, but again, the game has that set so you can apparently. Quentin Johnston retires, okay. Yeah, no. Let's sim to the next season, guys. Alright, so another year, another Super Bowl. Let's see who wins this Super Bowl here. Even though the NFL is already depleted in these 3 seasons. It's weird to say that we've only been 3 seasons in the future, because I feel like so many players are going out of the NFL that in 3 seasons, it's literally nobody. But yeah, Cheeto's on the Queefs, and he went ahead and won the Super Bowl. And he got an MVP award. Okay. That hurts. That kind of hurts, man. You went to the enemy, and you won the MVP? Okay. So that means he was a huge reason why they won the Super Bowl. Alright, Cheeto. I know this is a video game, but that's personal. Hang on. 17.5 sacks, 7 sacks, nice, okay. Let's do something real fast before we sim the week. I gotta do some maintenance. Roster, here we go. Let's go down to this, and that's what you get for going ahead and helping them win the Super Bowl. I don't care, it's a video game. I'm a Bengals fan. I'm butthurt over that. Anyway, Cheeto, enjoy your free agency. Or retirement. Potentially retirement. There's also a chance of that. Because, you know, he's now a free agent. Alright, who is retiring? Nick Bolton. Okay, I'm just gonna go through see the quarterbacks. Again, no one like really jumping out to me here. I guess a lot of players have already retired. Irv Smith, that's not a big deal. Matt Lee. Wow, that's the Bengals' 7th round draft pick. Okay, so 3 years and he's already retired. I mean, he was 65 years old, but still. Okay. Jeff Okudah. We're going to go into another season with these guys being 65 some odd years old and refusing to retire. Bro, there's no way you guys are still kicking it around. 63, gonna be 64 this upcoming season. Chris Jones is still playing. Is Aaron Rodgers still in the Bears? Okay, hold up. Nah. I'm looking for Rodgers. I don't care about anything else in this video anymore except for Rodgers. Is Rodgers still playing? He is. He's a New York Giants quarterback. He's a 72 overall. That is wicked. That is wicked that he is still playing in any capacity. I made everyone 60 some odd years old and these guys are still playing and refusing to quit. And I mean, the overalls are dropping like flies, but apparently their will to play football is not. And I don't know at what year they're going to retire, because at this point now, I feel like a lot of these guys should have already been retired for a long time now. But somehow they're still kicking it in. So we're going to sim another season, guys. And we're going to see Justin Tucker still around too. See what ends up happening. Alright, so another year. We are now 4 years into this franchise. I don't know why I clicked on schedule. 4 years in his franchise, and we have another Super Bowl. It's one between the Packers and the Raiders. So let's see how this ends up going out. And it's the Raiders win a Super Bowl. Nice. That's like their third Super Bowl, I think, in the franchise at this point. Patrick Mahomes has still yet to retire. Apparently, he just defying logic, just like Aaron Rodgers is. Which, yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. There's a lot of creative players. Even though there's a lot of real-life players who are 60 some odd years old and decided that age does not matter anymore, and they can just play until they're 100. I don't even know when Mahomes will retire, I'll be honest with you. That might be the real question of this video, is when will Mahomes retire? Because maybe EA Sports programmed him not to retire. Maybe that's a thing. Alright, so I just skipped past 2 weeks, so we have some more retirements. TJ Hawkinsock's retired, okay. Is there any Nate Wiggins retired? Oh, nice, that's the Ravens' first round pick. Jared Goff retired. Okay, so we got another quarterback at least retired. DTR. But you know, I don't see Bo Nix retired. Nice. I don't see Aaron Rodgers' name. And that's another guy I'm interested in seeing retire. Is Aaron Rodgers. Because, like, why has Jackson Smith-Njigba, Asante Samuel Jr., all these guys who are really, honestly, young, retiring. But who isn't retiring is Aaron Rodgers. Bro, how much... Is it called ayahuasca? Whatever it's called, the mushrooms he takes. Those mushrooms must be hitting good, because this man is still kicking it, and he is going to be 60. Oh. Well, this is interesting. Patrick Mahomes isn't getting older from 63 years old. So he's still 63. And none of these players are getting older than 63. So 63 might be the cutoff date for overalls. Now, it doesn't mean that, when it comes to age, but it does not mean that they still can't retire, because clearly all these players are retiring, and most of these players are retiring after 3 or 4 years in the NFL. So the age is still affecting them. It's just the fact that it looks like the age, while it affects them, it doesn't really do. It doesn't go above 60, whatever. Is Aaron Rodgers retired, or is he still a free agent? I feel like he's still a free agent. So it doesn't go above 63. Interesting. Well, next season, guys. Alright, so we got a Jags beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I also want to see real fast, don't care about you, Patrick, as you somehow are still kicking it after all this time. Anyway, is Rodgers on the team, or did he actually retire? Hold up. I didn't see him on the list, but I guess Aaron Rodgers actually retired, which is interesting. I did not expect him to retire, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect with Rodgers, but retirement was definitely not it. He could also be in free agency for all I know. It's very possible he's just a free agent. But let's just go down here, and there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now. And yes, there is still a Lamar Jackson. One Lamar Jackson. All right, so he's either retired or he's a free agent. Let's see who does retire, though. There's going to be people retire here, guys. This can't go on for much longer. Like, Mahomes, you gotta retire. Never mind, he was a free agent. So Rodgers was a free agent last year. So he retired after 22 seasons because of the fact that nobody signed him. So he spent a year in free agency and then retired. Chris Olave, wow. Alright, so Puka Nacua retires. Michael Penix, Anthony Richardson retired. Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, Devin Leary, Geno Smith retired. CJ Stroud, JJ McCarthy, Will Levis. This is actually the offseason of retired quarterbacks. So most of these quarterbacks are going to be retired. And because most of these quarterbacks, Bryce Young, have retired, Jimmy G, it looks like Mahomes is now realizing that he can now dominate the NFL as long as he stays in it. Caleb Williams retires after 3 years. I mean, he's 65 years old. What do you expect? There are so many quarterbacks retiring. Holy crap. All right, so Tua is also retired. Is it literally just Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes? Well, Patrick Mahomes is an 84 overall now. But, yeah. It's Lamar and Patrick. Who's the other 63-year-old quarterback? There's only right now, currently, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Patrick, and Lamar. Those are the only quarterbacks left in the league who has not retired. CMC hasn't retired. He's the only running back from the beginning of this that is still in the league. Keith Smith II is the only fullback. There's a lot of not a lot, but there's a good amount of receivers here who are still in the league. There is one tight end, which is George Kittle. There's a couple offensive linemen, tackles, I mean. Guards, there's a couple guards. Look at a couple at each position, it seems like. Yeah. Couple. Actually, wait, hold up. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So he's a make-believe player, but I made him 63 years old. So I did make some of the rookies 63 years old. Not all of them, but some of them. So there's still a handful of players who are like 63 who have decided not to retire yet. At least Aaron Rodgers retired. But now Mahomes is... Oh, TJ Watt's still kicking it. Wow. But now I think they realize is that they can still, remain in the league and dominate. Justin Tucker is still in the league. All right. Second wave of free agency / second wave of retirements. Well, first wave of free agency, actually. But retirements here. Who retired? Tua's brother retired. Wow. Okay. And nobody else. That's actually a really small amount. Alright, let me sim the next season, guys. At this point, I don't even care about stats. All I care about is one thing. Patrick Mahomes' retirement. Because I don't know how he's still kicking it. Set 6 years in the future. 6 years. He's 66 years old. And TJ Watt retires. Micah Parsons retires. Justin Jefferson retires. Lamar Jackson retires. Okay. Davius White retires. Alright. Nick Bosa retires. Corey Linsley. So it looks like all the guys that were 60-some-odd years old are retiring. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Mahomes finally retires. Patrick Surtain. Is this the ending of it then? So what? They lasted till they're 66 years old, and then all said, all right, time to quit. Yeah, I mean, these all has to be all the players. Like, all the 63-year-olds left. If there's any 63-year-old left at this point, I'll be heavily surprised. What up? This guy, looks very white. Like, extra, extra white. Like sour cream. Left in the sunlight white. Is there any 63-year-old players left? No. All the 63-year-old players have retired. So, to answer the question, if you make everyone 60 years old, after 6 years, everyone retires. I really thought that would happen after the first year. I thought everyone's going to retire after 1 year. Apparently, it takes 6 years to retire 60-year-old players. Very interesting. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.